Well, hello, and welcome to the I Shall Bloom Show. Yes, a show where we interview stellar individuals whose work and legacy has profoundly uplifted our community for the better. Each week, we interview a new guest and we take a deeper dive into the work that they're doing in their lives, collectively sharing ideas and experiences. You see here at I Shall Bloom, you shall bloom, and we shall bloom. Today, I have, look at here, two, not one, two powerful deal makers, breakers, and takers, and powerful people who want things to come together, who work on one accord to make things work. They're both here. Of course, we have Mr. Willie Mitchell, who is the chairman and, well, president of San Antonio Fighting Back, and more. And also, too, and, well, we won't forget, we'll talk about the football because we know that's happening now. So we can't leave that out. They both got on red, so that means something. And then we have Miss Beverly. What did I get? Oh, Barbara Jordan, community center. So what? Okay, scratch that. Beverly Watts Davis. Yes, a powerful woman of God, a pillar in society, in this community, all over, going to the White House. The last time I talked, she was on her way there when we met, when Mr. Willie thought he was going to be in the hospital. They thought he was going to be sick, but he kicked God protected him again and kicked the devil in the butt again. So now she's here on the couch at the I Shall Bloom Show. And I'm going to introduce her right now. Again, that's Beverly Watts Davis. Woo-woo! Welcome.
Thank you so very much for having us.
Yes, so I have here, I'm going to let them talk about 2025, what we see, what's going to happen in 2025, what they see, new ideas, new ventures. Okay, because 2025 is all the way live. 2024, we wanted more, but 2025 is all the way live. So put it to action. All righty, let's go ahead. Introduce yourself and tell us about yourself and your goals.
No, you introduce yourself first.
Well, hello to all those out in TV land and TV world. I'm Beverly Watts Davis, and I'm the Chief Officer for Program Support for the West Care Foundation and the Senior Vice President for West Care Texas. West Care is a foundation that is in 19 states, 3 U.S. territories, and we're looking at expanding to Argentina. The country of Argentina has asked us to come in to see what we might be able to do in terms of helping them with some of their actual community development social issues. And West Care Foundation, we do a myriad of things, and it is very much tailored to where you're at, to what state you're in and what region you're in. And so here in West Care, Texas, we're in Fort Worth and Laredo and San Antonio, and with other locations wanting to become a part of the West Care family. But we're really about what the community wants and needs in our overall strategy, truly, which is a strategy that we actually developed and really grew up in terms of working with Mr. Mitchell. We've worked together now for 44 years. And so we were together to start San Antonio Fighting Back. I served as its executive director, and he served as its board chair. He was the last and continuing board chair. There were several board chairs before him, but he has been the one that has sustained in that place. And when I went to Washington, he stepped in and became the executive director and the president and the chair of the board, so that there was consistency and sustainability. And that was such a wonderful move because Fighting Back sustained with Willie stepping in. And I never forgot home, no matter where I was. I was always, when I got a break, I was back here working with Fighting Back to help them with grants or whatever else needed to be done to be able to make sure that Fighting Back thrived. But overall, West Care really has a very similar, has really enacted the kind of strategy that Willie and I actually developed together. And that was really about stepping back, working with the community to identify for itself the things that needed to be done, and then figuring out what assets do we have, what do we have to be able to make things make things better. And was really the thing that you'll always hear Mr. Mitchell talk about is self-accountability, community accountability, family accountability, but overall accountability. And so by working with finding out what people, they themselves are come to after looking at the data and geomapping and all those kinds of things, here are the issues. And then asking, so what are you going to do to be able to make that happen? And our strategy has been to not replicate what other people are doing. We don't do that because there's no reason to walk in. The foundation is very large. We have a very large overall revenue stream, but we could walk in and just start doing things. But why? And my whole issue in coming here, before I ever accepted the position, I talked with Willie, and this is the person that I talked to before I did anything. And I said, I really wanted to come to San Antonio and to be able to make sure the foundation came right here to the east side of San Antonio and begin to work our strategy of having organizations begin to collaborate. Because you got a lot of nonprofits here. They're all hanging on, for dear life in terms of being able to be viable. And instead of us walking in and saying, okay, we're going to do what so-and-so was already doing, it was about when we come in, why take our resources and give it to them and help them do better. Because people are always just one step away. I always say, you're just a couple steps away from greatness. And so instead of doing that, we began to really start partnering with people and really collaborating. And when we use the word collaborate, people throw that around. What they really mean is, I need a letter from you saying you like me. Give me a support letter. Well, we've taken collaboration to a whole new level in terms of real partnerships with people, where we really are coming together to take the best of what we can do to fund staff, existing staff, to be able to do better and get better trained, get better resources, get better tools, get better equipment to do what they do, but better and more, so we can expand services and enhance the services that we have. And I'm really proud to say that, over the last couple of years, we put like $4 million back by working with partners throughout this community to do better at what they're doing, not to duplicate it, but to do better. And again, I cannot tell you all my foundation really came from my friendship and development with Willie Mitchell. We did a lot with San Antonio Fighting Back. We put San Antonio on the map. There was a time when we started, we had the third highest crime rate in the nation. After 10 years of working together, we had one of the third lowest crime rates in the nation. And we were recognized by the Attorney General at that time. And we just kept building on that and building on that and building on that. We've got other things that have spun off. One of them is the After School All-Stars. We started with the inner city games. We had over 8,000 young people around this city who were doing things. It was led by exactly, it was led by, at that time, the wife of the chief of police, which was Jimmy Malippas. And we worked with 8,000 kids all around the city. We do all different parts of Rex to get these kids activated and engaged. And that has stayed with us because we continue to do a summer youth development program. Because during that time, that is one of the highest risk times for our children, because that is when they are recruited to get into gangs and to get into hustling and get into drug dealing. And so, as we said, we're going to fight. We're going to fight for our kids. We're going to fight those negative resources and those negative influences. We're going to fight you for our kids. And so during the summer, we do an 8-week program. So these kids are engaged and involved, and they get through the summer without getting in trouble. We've seen the juvenile crime rate drop during that time, but it is all about pouring into our children, because they're our future. They're going to take over for us. And if we don't step in, as Mr. Mitchell always says, be accountable. What are you going to do to make things better? But if we don't do that, we will wake up and be in a world that we're all going to be going, what the heck happened? And so, I'll stop talking now and just turn over to Mr. Mitchell, but I will tell you one of the blessings of life. We have both been blessings to each other. He's been such a blessing. And I know that God put Mr. Mitchell in my life as a mentor, as a true friend. I don't think there's ever been a Christmas that we haven't had a chance to spend some time together. He and his wife, Sherilyn, who I just adore. But it's been a lifelong blessing of real friendship. And the motto for Dream Week this week is neighbor. And if anybody has been a true neighbor in my life, someone that you turn to who has been there for you, who you knew that you could call on at any time to help you, that has been Mr. Willie Mitchell. So I thank you, Willie.
Thank you so much, I appreciate that. But the one thing about it, and the thing that makes it all so good is that as a woman, I've always looked at you with the greatest amount of respect, because it's one thing my mother always told me: women have a great ability to understand and help. And the thing that I feel like makes it more and more successful is that if you don't realize that you may be the smartest thing at this and the smartest thing at that, but Beverly has a smartness too. And she's more qualified at some things than I am. So I have to respect her for having the knowledge and understanding what needs to be done to help me create what I'm trying to do and supportive of the effort. That is the thing that I think that makes the difference. I have to realize that, yeah, I may have an ability to do certain things, but she has one just as strong as the one that I have, and I have to respect her for that. And that's the thing that I think that has made the biggest difference, is that she has been able to give me some advice, and the thing that I did with that was to take it and use it in a positive way. And don't say that I'm much better, or I can't do this, I can't do that. I think we have to have respect for one another, and that to me is the most important thing in the world. I may have been a successful football player, but my mother told me, you have to learn how to do something more than just play football and basketball. And I understood what she was talking about, because I have to accept the respect that women have and accept the thing that they can tell me things to do that will help me do the things that I want to do and create much more successful things for other people. And that's what I think the biggest thing is with Beverly and I. She has always been able to give me some advice where I appreciated what she said, and I had confidence in what she said. And the whole thing about it is that I trusted her, and I wanted to do exactly what she asked me to do. And I think that makes the biggest difference in the world. When we come together, we've got to understand that we are not the greatest and the smartest thing going. There's somebody else that has some ability. They may not be a man, but some of these women are very, very intelligent, and we have to be respectful to them because they give us something that we don't have. And I think that one of the things that men have the biggest problem with is because they think they're greater than everybody else. But that is not the way it is. And I think the respect that you have for each other and the respect that you have for these women make a great deal of difference, because they can give you some things that you don't have no knowledge about and make it work for you. And that's why I'm here with San Antonio Fighting Back now. It's not because Willie Mitchell was so great and so, well, yeah, football, but you ain't playing football here in San Antonio Fighting Back. And to be able to have that type of relationship to where the grants and everything that has been, that's been given to San Antonio Fighting Back, and the operation and the process in which we go by and use that makes a big difference. She has the knowledge of doing that. I don't. So I have to understand that, and I have to respect her for that in a very respectable way. And I think that has been the difference with where I have had the respect for her that was just as great as the respect that I had for my mother. And I think that is something that we all have to do and say and be satisfied with it, and not say that, well, you can't do this and you can't do that. Well, you might be able to do one thing here, but that doesn't mean that you're gonna be able to do it everywhere else. And she has given me some leadership and some advice. It hasn't hurt me, it has helped me. Because if it didn't, I wouldn't be here today. And that's what I think makes the big difference, is that no matter what's said or done, she has helped me to stay here and keep San Antonio Fighting Back in operation. And the only thing I can do is be respectful of that and say thank you for doing that. And that's the thing about what we need to do right now, is we need to come together and show the respect for one another. And my biggest problem right now is I have the thought about, I don't have a child. And my wife tried to have it, she didn't have one. And when she was trying to do it, and her mother and my mother was there in the hospital with me, and I told my mother then that we have to make sure that the doctor take this away from her, because she's gonna pass away from here because she's suffering so. And the only thing about it is that I knew that my mother told me, well, do you want a child? And I told my mother, I didn't marry her to have a baby. I married her because I loved her and felt good about her. And that to me is what made the difference with it, is because I made a commitment to her, and that was one thing that I said, if I make a commitment to her for that, I have to respect her for that and give her all the respect in the world. And I've never asked her, well, can you adopt a child or you can do this? No, because I'm not a woman, but she is. And I have the utmost respect for her for that, because I didn't marry her to have a child. And I love kids right now, but I love her too. And I have to have the self-respect for her, just like anything else, because my thought process in that, when I met her and when I got engaged to and got married to, it wasn't to have children. And so since that's not the way it is, what does that mean to me? I have to respect her as being the woman that I was in love with and that I respected, and gave her everything in the world that I could do. And right today, I feel the same way. Like, I respect her for being a woman. I give her the position where she's supposed to do what she can to do and make it better for the both of us, not me saying that I'm much greater than her, because I have to respect her too. We have to do those kind of things in order to come together and make this country a much better country and a much better place, because we have to respect each other and work together to solve some of this initial problems that we have. And we think that we have done so much with the kids, but we're not giving these kids no responsibility at all. And the only thing that I have that really bothers me is that a person can have a child, but when that child leaves out that door, I think that you should be respectful and make sure that that child is going in a positive way, and let them know that. And some of the things that they say they can do, no, you don't let them do those things, because you know that when it gets to it, it's going to be something that's going to hurt them as an adult, and it might cause them to lose their life or whatever. So teach them how to have respect for themselves and respect for you and respect for others. And I think that is one of the most powerful things in the world, is to have that respect for one another. And it's just like, if I go to a group of kids and want to say, I tell them, I think I'm the most handsome person in the world. And the kids laugh, they whoop, whoop, whoop. I say, well, if you don't think you are, then you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Because when I look at myself in that mirror in the morning and I wash my face and brush my teeth and all that, I've got to be happy with the way I look.
That's right.
And if I'm not happy with it, then I'm in trouble. So when I walk out of there, I'm gonna make sure that, oh, well, miss, you look pretty good. And I want to be comfortable with myself so that I can be comfortable with others. And I know that I've been blessed because God has given me the ability to do these things. And the one thing that I know that people, other people than my mother, and my daddy, and my brothers, the people that taught me in junior high school, Douglas Junior High School, as an athlete, we took a prayer. And that prayer has been with me ever since I was in junior high school. And that prayer is with me today. I never have forgot what that prayer was, because it let me know that you are going to be good and you may think you're the best, but there are some others that's a little bit better, and you gotta know how to respect them for what they do, because you're not gonna win all the time and you're not gonna be the top person. So you have to know how to accept the fact that there's somebody that's a little bit better at some of the things that you do. And I just feel like that's where we are right today, is that all of us have an ability, but we need to do those things that we do to make it better for each one of us and know how to share that with others. I just know that I can play football, and I play football, but that ain't the most thing I like to do. I like to build and paint.
And is very good at it.
Yeah, but that to me, I know my physical ability won't let me do it, but that's something I wish I could do, because that was something that's a talent that I started that not when I got in college and not when I got in, but I started that in junior high school.
Wow.
Because I took vocational education there. And that's where I learned that, and I have not forgotten that at all. So that's what I want to tell other people. If you put your mind to it and is doing something that you want to do, you put yourself together and realize one thing: you got to have a plan. If you want to be successful, you have to have a plan, because there's not one business in this world that has been successful that doesn't have a plan. And that plan will help you be as successful as you want to be, but you have to develop that and have the best of confidence in yourself and the respect for others. And the female, no matter what you say or no matter what you do, that mother I had, she used to call me a chocolate because I was the darkest one in her family. But guess what? When I left out of that door, she tell me, baby, I love you, but you go out there and you better be respectful for me, because I don't want you to do nothing, and I don't want you to be bothering nobody and get into trouble. She said, because I don't want nobody calling me back and telling me you did this. And that made a big difference to me, because my mama would hug me before when I went out that door, and she would hug me when I came in that door. But the respect that she gave to me and the respect that she made me have for others, I think that is something that has stayed with me all of this time. And one of the greatest things in the world that I feel like happened, being a professional football player and playing in that first Super Bowl, and when I came out of the stadium, I was saying some real nasty stuff to myself. And my mother grabbed me in the collar and she said, "What is wrong with you, son?" I said, "Mother, I lost the game." She said, "Wait a minute, shut up." She said, "You may not have played a good game, but none of you all played a good game, and it wasn't no one person that done it." And then she made me repeat that prayer from what we did in junior high school, and she said, "You remember that prayer, and don't you never let this game make a fool of you, because this will be a part of you for the rest of your life." I had no idea what she was talking about, but today, that game is still with me and is still a part of my life. And I think that's the greatest thing that she could have said to me and made me understand what responsibility I had. And that's where I think we are with other people. It's the same way with Beverly and me right now. Beverly says something to me, said, "Miss So-and-so," okay, Beverly, I understand that, I do that, but I respect her for telling me the stuff that she tells me and the things that she's doing, and there's nothing wrong with that, because she's got that ability that I don't have, and I have to respect her for that. So that's why I have nothing else to say to her, but what is it that you see that I should do, can do, and give me some advice on what I'm doing. And take that in a real respectful way and don't say, well, she's the lady, I don't know. I understand what she's doing, I understand what she's saying, and that's what we have to do about each other and work together and have the utmost respect for one another. And if we do that, then we can make the good decisions that we make and understand that no matter what's said or done, you better put a plan together because you gotta know how to do that. And if you put that plan together and follow that plan, you can be successful, but you gotta have something in your mind of what you wanna do and how you wanna do it.
You know, and this is what's amazing. I could sit at the feet of Willie and sit there all day long and listen to him. Because the pearls of wisdom are just amazing. And his mother is a magnanimous, that is a true Sheba.
Yeah.
She deserves a superwoman cake.
Yes.
Because when you see the parenting,
Yes.
it is a reflection of the people. He is an outcome.
Yes.
He is the outcome of her.
Yeah.
And one of the things as I'm listening here, just think of the things that he has said that make such a difference. He talked about you have to set a plan. So you all, from that, I got, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. If you fail to plan, then you are planning to fail. And then he spoke about respect and something, not respect for others, but also he spoke about self-respect. That you need that confidence and to get through life. Because if you don't believe in you, then other people can't believe in you.
Right.
You'll wear that. You'll wear that on your face. You'll wear it in your body language.
Yes.
You've got to be able to respect yourself. When you get up in the morning, have that positive self-talk. It's going to be a tough day today, but you're going to be able to get through it. And the fact that God gets you through another day means that you're supposed to be here and you're supposed to be doing what you're doing. You're exactly where you're supposed to be, and God is using you in the way that he needs to use you. And that will always result in a positive end. And he spoke about the wonderful thing that as he spoke about his wife, Cheryl, you all have been married now 50, how many years?
58.
You all, this is something that you don't even see anymore. You have so many children who've never seen parents who've gotten past 5 or 6 years. This is a man and a woman who got to 58 years. That is half of a decade. That's half of a century.
Yes.
50 years. And to think that you can be with someone and love someone and they're your best friend, partner, the other half of you, the person who finishes your sentences and finishes you. That is just amazing to see that even still exists. So Willie, I say thank you for that, because there are so many children who have never seen that. They've never seen it, not even in their grandparents.
Never seen marriage.
Or in their great grandparents. They've not seen it. And just to know that, his strong work ethic. Well, Mr. Mitchell, for as long as I know, as we started fighting back, I'm telling you, there were so many different things we could have done. But he talked about one thing that was always true. You can bet Mr. Mitchell will be here. And every single day that I get up, because I rarely miss a day of work, rarely, in the 10, 12 years, I rarely ever missed a day of work. But I always knew that there would be somebody there beside me there, and that would be Mr. Mitchell. And one of the things that was amazing, but it's the value of work. And I don't mean work as people go, I don't want to work. But what he actually did is teach me that it's not work if you're making a contribution. If it's not work if this is what God has steered you to. It changes its name from work to your life purpose. It changes the name from work to your life trajectory. It changes the name of work to your path for success, for lifetime success. It's not about work and somebody telling you what to do. It's about getting up and getting another day to try to get it right and help somebody else in the community. And you get up with the purpose of making a difference, of helping somebody, of making a difference in somebody else's life. But it becomes purpose. And he has been living out his purpose. He taught me that. It's not about work. And that's why people ask one time, are you going to retire? What are we going to do when you retire? And I'm like, retiring is sort of some other word from some other culture.
Right.
This is what I'm doing is my purpose. What I'm doing is what God has had me do. So will I slow down, and maybe will I do things at a slower pace? Absolutely yes. And will I groom up others to pick up the pace that I left off with? Absolutely. But I don't know that I will retire per se, but I certainly will pass the torch to a younger person to kind of run and do all the things to be able to make sure the foundation is still there, that we can help other people, that we can certainly help to continue to help make organizations better, enhance them, and expand their capacity so that they can help more people. I will work until my final breath will be sitting at some desk, probably trying to write a grant for somebody.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I probably will spend my final breath doing that. And I'm okay with that. I am absolutely, I have friends who go, I want you to stop working so you can run around the country, run around the world with me. Throughout my life, and this is why I know that my path is where I'm supposed to be. Throughout my career, throughout my life journey, I have seen the world. I have been to every single state in the United States. I have been abroad. I have been to India. I have been to Europe. I have been to so many places to see them. I'm okay with folk getting up and taking on the challenge in San Antonio. It fills me. And I don't necessarily want to stay home and watch Netflix. I don't want to I sure as heck don't want to get on a plane with all those germs and and worrying about, is it going to make it? Is someone's going to shoot it down, or someone's going to blow up a bomb on it, or, any of those things. I am perfectly happy in getting up every day, saying, thank you, God, for giving me another day to get something done. Thank you. And go about the day making something happen. I am truly fulfilled with that because it is purposeful living. I had a very good friend just the other day who said, she was speaking to an older lady, and she said, what is it that makes you young? And the person said, be purposeful, have a purpose in life, and get younger friends. and so, in doing both of that, we are going to be passing into the wisdom and the things we've learned. We hope young people will learn from mistakes, but it's our turn to pour into. We have an AmeriCorps we do together, and I love it because it gives us a chance. We've now actually, when I step back, it's been over 200 something young people that we have worked with in AmeriCorps. Yeah. And we have poured into them, and we have created a safe haven for them to come into our organizations and work and learn from us. You all, there are so many things that have changed such that our young people do not know. We were putting together Christmas holiday packages, and I had a young lady, she's in her 20s, who actually said to me, I was watching her and I was saying, okay, well, here's the address and stuff, and I'm thinking that they're going to address and get it done. She was looking at what I'd given her in the package, and I said, oh, and she started writing, putting the name and then the address just right underneath each other. I said, oh, no. You put the name here, and then you put the person you're sending, you put your name here, but the person you're sending it to here. And she actually said to me, she said, Miss B, I've never sent a letter. I've never mailed anything in my entire life. And I went, it reminded me that, thank God, God gave us our organization so that these young people can come and work here and learn from us and make the mistakes here. Because if they went someplace else and decided to just show up at 10 o'clock and think everybody should be okay with that, they can do it in my organization, so I can sit them down and say, no. If you're supposed to be here at 9 o'clock, you got to be here at 9 o'clock. No. Well, I came in. If you're someplace else, they will say, thank you for coming in and thank you for going out the door. Goodbye. And then you have another young person whose world has been shattered, now no longer has a job, doesn't even understand why that happened.
Yes.
But we can sit down with them and say, this is why, and then I have to recognize, and I have to say this for all of us, we have a generation of young people who have 3 generations back never saw a person in their family or in their immediate family or even their extended family get up and go to work. I want to repeat that. For 3 generations back, I have never seen somebody get up, get dressed, get in the car, and go to work and get there on time. So the concept of that is foreign. They don't really know what it really means, and then they make fun of it because they don't really know about it. Oh, you're gonna go work for the man. Yeah. No, you can also go work for yourself. Right. You can also go work for the man, get enough money, be successful, and then work for yourself. You can go work for the man and then make sure that you become the man. Right. All of those things are possible for you. Yes. And so working with them, we are able to offer this safe haven and say, okay, this is when you meet someone, this is what you do. This is how you shake their hand. Yes. You shake their hand and you shake their hand firmly. And for women, if you want, you may cup their hand, which means you are warm, that you have a great warming personality. But you tell them, hi, you say who your name is, and I work for so-and-so, and I'm so glad to meet you. Open it up so people will want to pour into you. This is all about getting you benefit if people pour into you. So you have to make sure that they want to pour into you, that they see something in you. They see that spark. Yeah. They see the magnanimous personality of a Willie Mitchell and want to be around you. And so I just have to just say, Willie, I mean, when we step back, there are young people all over this city who have worked with us in AmeriCorps, and I'm so proud of where they are now. And they're everywhere. And people always say, how do you know so many people? They don't realize, Mr. Mitchell and I, we have tentacles all over this community, all over Texas, quite frankly, all over this country. There are thousands of coalitions that started with us. We started with the first 20-something coalitions that first got funded as drug-free coalitions. Now there are 7,000. But we tutored and mentored so many people around the country about how to organize, don't agonize, but organize in their communities and get things done. And I'm pulling that from Mr. T.C. Calvin. Don't agonize, but organize. Organize yourselves to address the issues in your community. And so it's just, when we step back, we have tentacles all over this country and all over San Antonio and all over Texas, that when something comes up, both of us, you know what? Let's call so-and-so. Yes. Let's call so, and we can, that's a Rolodex in our mind. Yes. And in our phones, that is, I can't even say this in our phone, it's too many numbers, but that is a Rolodex in our bank and in my book that I can reach out for, name an issue. There are people and experts who've done it successfully, and are willing to share it with me. And I, along my journey, I have collected people. I collect people as part of my hobby. Yep. And so during the holidays, I send out the director of programs, Janelle, was sharing with someone, as we were doing the packages, the AmeriCorps were going like, oh, we have so many. And Janelle came in and said, you guys, there was one year we actually sent out 600 packages. It was like 600 or so. And those are people all scattered around. But at any point, you watch their progression, and some end up being, leaders of organizations. Some are leaders in private sector. Some are leaders of government agencies. Some are leaders or key lobbyists that get things done in Washington. But we have a very good, not just Rolodex, we have a very good, I don't want to say notebook, but neighbor book. of lots of people who we have crossed. And again, as I say, I collect people. I'm a book of lots of collection. People collect different things. I collect people and relationships. So
But that's exactly what you just said. Right upstairs in this building right now is a young man sitting up there with his mother. And he came with his mother to get some stuff and take it over in the room and put it all together for some people. And I told him this morning, I said, look, you know what? Why don't you think about some of the things you want to do? I said, but I'm going to let you come by my house and I'm going to show you some different type of equipment that you might be able to take and use and create something that you can do to help you and make you make a honest living. And he said, huh? I said, yeah, I got all the equipment that you can think about to do different things. And the only thing I want you to do is come by the home and tell me when you want to come by. And I want you to look at the stuff and see if you know anything about it. And I can tell you everything that you want to do with it. And you know what? There is a vehicle sitting in the backyard also. He doesn't have no vehicle. Wow. What I thought about is, well, if he gets on, he can have that car. And the only thing I said, it needs a little tune-up, but if he wants to do something to create something to better himself, then this would be something to help. But that's her son, and she's been working here. He needs to do something now because she's not going to be able to take care of him
for all his life.
But he's going to need to do something to help take care of her.
That's right.
And I told him, all you have to do is let me know when you want to come by, and the equipment is there. You don't have to give me a dime for it. I'll give it to you. But this is something that I see you have some ability, but nobody has reached out to you to tell you, you can look at this head you got, but in these hands, God has given you the ability to use these hands, and you don't really know it right now, but if you put it together and you work at it, these hands will make a fortune for you. And he said, oh, I didn't think about that. I said, I know you didn't, but this is what I want you to think about.
Another example of the pouring in.
Yeah.
And he's been doing this all his life, the pouring in, and been an example to others to do exactly that very same
That's
thing.
what I feel like. The ability, God has given all of us an ability.
Yes.
And the thing that we can do is try to see what it is that other people can do to help themselves and encourage them to do that. All of them are not going to go to college, but I want you to go to elementary school, junior high, and high school. I want you to go and get that education because I know that I had teachers in junior high school, and I'm talking about some lady teachers. Look at you, Willie. You might be good in football, but guess what? You want to be good in this class too. Do you hear me? Like, yes, ma'am, I sure do. And some of those teachers I listened to because they made me understand what they were talking about. And it wasn't no big thing, but I knew they were talking to me and telling me what to do and what I need to do, and you need to learn this. And you are real good in football and baseball, but when you go in that classroom, you better be the same good. Do you understand? Yes, ma'am, I understand. All of that made a difference.
It does.
You know, and that, I think that all of that has caused me to be where I am today because I listened to what those teachers said.
Yeah.
I knew that they wanted me to be good in that classroom too. And because I was playing football and all of that, they said, yeah, you can do all of that you want to.
She's going to be good here too.
And one of them was in a band, and I played the trombone in the band. And he gave me a nickname. He called me Stack. He said, "Little Stack." He said, "You can do so much. I'm gonna call you Stack." Then he said, "That's gonna be your nickname." But
that is what
I played in high school. I played in the band also. But when the halftime comes, I went out there with my trombone in the band.
Yes. Wow.
But
amazing.
all of those things, I just think meant so much to me, and it caused me to make the right choice and the right decision. And I want to tell you all something that really, really made one big difference to me. And that's why that young lady that I'm with right now is that I have the utmost respect for her. Shirley was pregnant and she was trying to have a baby. And as I walked in that room, it's just that respect that you develop, and there's nothing difficult about it, but it helps you make some right choices and right decisions about what you do. I had a whole lot of people here in this district that were dope pushers and sellers, and they had all of these things where they had these women, where they had them doing all the stuff and all of that. And a lot of them tried to get me to hang out around in Commerce Street and come over here to Wheatley Courts and all of that. And my whole thing was, my mama, if I did that, my mama, and I tried to walk on that door, my mama would break my neck when I get it.
Yeah.
And Mr., you know, just recently, just look at what happened recently, and this really speaks to, as much as we have fought substance abuse, alcohol and other drug use, those who recently, like 2 days ago, the National Institute of Health came out and said that alcohol actually causes cancer.
Yeah.
So do you know, as long as we have been doing this, we recognize the dangers and not only the dangers to the individual and to the family, it's the whole community, that substance abuse, the harm, that overall community harm.
Yeah.
It must have been, first and foremost, in order for a scientific entity to actually come out and say that, means they have known that for 20-something years. And they finally have definitively proved it. And the fact that the alcohol industry, who we know how strong that lobby is, was not able to prevent that information from coming out, says so very much. I mean, we have both been approached to just, oh, come on, you can get away with it. Just do it this one time.
Yeah.
We have had and everybody has, where you have to make that decision about those actions, which could fundamentally alter your path.
Right.
And amazingly enough, you've had those choices. People came to you. They wanted you to hang out and run. And the same with me. And I am so thankful that I had the good sense to walk away from those things.
I am too.
Because our lives would have been different.
That's right. And
Yeah,
I've
this
got
path
one
would not be sitting here
right now that's in Albuquerque. Things that made the big difference in all of those things that those fellows that I knew that was doing that, none of them are here today. It's none of them, you know.
Dead or in jail.
And it's just
They're dead or in jail.
right. It's just the thing where I just think that all you have to do is just be considerate of what you're doing and really consider the other person and what you're doing to them. And I really have the honest respect for women because I know what my mother told me, and she didn't play nothing, and she would tell us right the exact thing that she wanted to tell us. And my dad would be sitting in the room with us, and we'd go and get in the back of the house and go sit in the room and say, "Dad, did you hear what Mom said?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, why did she say it that way?" He said, "Don't you know your mama was a girl too?" And we said, "Oh yeah, that's right."
Well, I want to interject. As I'm sitting here and I'm learning this wisdom so much, I know that it starts at home. What I get, it starts at home first. When you said that, when you looked at, from our parents, it started from home first. Our parents loved us, showed us love, because you said you got a kiss when you left, and you knew that you were going to get that love when you came home. So, regardless of whatever that came your way when you were out there, you knew that love was at home. You knew that you were loved, and so that's what's missing too in a lot of our families, in our children's generation. They don't know what love is. Or they love of money, or the love of stuff, or the love of the gangsters on the corner, that, whatever, it's not love, but that control issue. So I see, I got that growing up in a house of love kept you directed, of course, God first. And then looking in the mirror and loving yourself and knowing your self-worth, then you will not, it lessens the chance of someone disrespecting you when you know, wait a minute, that's not me. I am not of that, you know? So that, and then when you got married, and then I'll go where I get from you. You say that you didn't have kids, but you have tons of kids.
Oh, yes.
You pour into kids, so you have kids. God is in control of what he's sovereign and he's in control. So when you say you don't have kids, you do have kids when God bless you with all of us who have learned and look up to your standards of not bending when it comes to the mighty dollar, because there's someone always that's going to stand there and try to dangle that money carrot. But you still stand with mama. I had a mama and a daddy too that was integrity. That I could have went, I mean, of course I tested things, but I always had a sovereign fear of God. And then my mom and parents, they showed up everywhere. I'm like, well, I can't hang around that person because my mom and dad don't act up. I know how they are, but I didn't know what that was. Why are you guys so old fashioned? Why are you guys so this? I thank God that it's still with me today. They're gone. Their life was cut short early, but I still have the seeds that they put on. And so that's what you guys are doing. You're not working. You don't call it. That's why people, when you retire, it's considered work. But these are seeds. This is joy. This is a mission. This is a purpose. Your God-given gift that you are allowing. And I'm blessed. I mean, your card, I know your name. I know for years. I've been here at the Barbara Jordan, going on 2 years. And it's been hard. But he says, hold on. Hold on. My prayer, let the Lord fight for you. Some days I don't even want to come in. It's just like people say they want to do this and then they don't show up. I mean, just our people do us so wrong. But I move, I step in, I come, and then all of a sudden I saw your number popped up. Just out of all, just popped up. I'm going to call. You answered. No, you called back. And you're here. I told him, I said, I got my coming today. And he tomorrow, he said, well, yeah, okay. She'll be here. And you showed up. And look, I was just asking God, look at what you have blessed. This is people coming here is like, wow. And and it's just like, well, God, when are you gonna do this? And when are you gonna do this? But each day he blesses.
Take it one day at a time.
One day at a time, and so I get to meet you. He was like, well, she's a grant. I'm like, well, we can do some things here. I can teach people how to edit. All the things that God has taught me how to do, switched over that I didn't know that was my talent, which was my talent. We don't know sometimes until God puts you in that situation. When I was working with the radio station and then we split, I was like, okay, this is not me. I'm in the medical field. No, this is you. This is my ministry. You are going to work for the kingdom. You always supposed to be. It's about my business, not yours.
Yeah.
And so, okay. So I didn't know I could speak. And so when people say, girl, you're good at this. You're good. This is you. And I'm like, okay, God, every time it's time for me to do a show, speak through me, God. Let me, something makes sense that someone reached one person or even one person. And so I'm here. And I just thank you both. I got 2 powerhouses. I thank you both for being here.
I thank you so very much for the invitation.
Thank you. And so, I know I'm supposed to be on camera. So I don't want this to be the end. You know what I mean? You see this is here now, and I know that you guys are both passionate. And if I can be, I want to be poured into. So if whatever I can do, my business is I Shall Bloom, but it's a ministry too. Teaching, it's the same thing as the All-Star program. It's the same thing as Fighting Back. It's helping our community and keeping this Barbara Jordan Community Center for more years to come, many years to come, not being a sellout. And, you know, because some companies sell out in our east side, in our communities. But we need to support each other more. So, in saying that, what do you guys see in 2025 happening? I know we have about a few more minutes.
Well, one of the things that I do know, and Barbara Jordan has been in need of work for a long time, and we had literally located at the Ella Austin Community Center because we were growing just really fast.
Sure.
And then we got very focused again, and we were successful in mobilizing and organizing and getting the recommendation for Ella Austin to get $23 million for its renovation.
Sure.
And then we worked and the bonds passed, and so we were doing it, and so now Ella Austin is now going through its change. I mean, it's now being renovated. And the same thing, I mean, this building has been sinking for a minute, and the city really, I mean, there are things that have to be done to shore this building up. And Mr. Mitchell he has breathed life into this to be able to make this work. If he wasn't here, you wouldn't have seen the NAACP be here. I mean, because literally their office used to be my office. And so again, it was bringing that back. And I love the fact that I walked in and all the vaccinations were being done. And then you go in one remote where you've got all this food to be able to help people with food insecurity.
Yes.
That's what community centers are supposed to be about. They're supposed to be the resiliency hub that really helps us bounce back. And it's only going to be as strong and as good as we make it.
That's right.
So we have to really think about that. But I do know with that, we were very, very blessed. But again, one of the things that I would hope is that we really end up with centers between Barbara Jordan and Ella Austin, that we've got where people are coming in. And I would love to be able to see when people walk in for help, no one ever comes to you with just one issue or just one problem.
Right.
There's always multiple things going on in their life. And so it would be really wonderful if they can walk into the Barbara Jordan and or Ella Austin and know that when they go in, they're going to one place. They don't have to get back in their car and drive 6 other places. But there's a one-stop center where they can go in and get what they need. They can get signed up for utilities, and then they can get someone to work with them on financial literacy. Just, for one program, that they're living paycheck to paycheck, that they can go somewhere, that they can go down the hall, and there's a place that may be able to give them an interim loan while they're really trying to get over the hump of always being in debt. They go right down the hall, and there's childcare services for their kids that they're able to sign up for early Head Start, so that the city will pay for their children, and they can put that money back into the coffers so they can pay their light bill and their electric bills on time. It's just, it would be so great understanding that it's a resiliency hub, but we're really trying to help families and individuals be resilient. That's what's got to happen in Barbara Jordan. That's what's got to happen in Ella Austin communities.
Yes.
Both of them are community centers.
Yes.
That's it. That's the best focus that we can look at, and that's it. It's just, no matter what's said or done, it's needed, and we can walk away and, close the door and say the heck with it. But the whole thing about it is, we have been blessed by God to give us the talents to do these things.
Yes.
So you just can't walk and turn around the door and say, forget it, because, it doesn't make sense, and all of the things that we're, so happy about, and the blessing that we have had, we're just trying to transfer that over to make other people understand what they need to do to do those same things. And that, one of the things that I'm going to do with my pastor down at the church, I've got to tell him to reach out to his people who come to church every Sunday, and they woo, 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 woo. Well, I want you to woo, 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 but woo, woo, woo about helping others.
Yeah.
And let's bring some resources in and say, God gave us the ability to help others. And why is it that we have these people coming into church but we don't see none of the kids and their families coming with them. And can you ask them to bring them in and let's have programs for them to, where we can take them through certain things to make them understand what their responsibility is and why it's so important to have Jesus Christ in your life to help you make the right decision.
And you know, I don't know what I would do without God in my life.
No, but see, that,
I can't even.
it's just,
No idea.
it's just that I feel like they may think that, well, I'm old enough, well, how did you get what you got? And I hear you saying, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, but what are you doing in your family to help one of your nieces, one of your nephews, one of your children, you know, or grandchildren, to help them make the right choice and decision too? And why don't you have them coming in to get some kind of thought process about God and have them put God in their life? Because I know it has helped me, so what is the difference from you? I mean, it just, and I need to tell them that, and whether it's understood or not, they need to hear it. Because you hear them saying all of these other things about this and that, but then too, what effort is being put forward to say, look, let's talk to the kids.
Yeah.
Let's bring them together. And you're gonna have some that may disagree and that, but it just takes a little time for you to work with the child through that so they can understand what they really want to do and what they're trying to do and understand what life is all about. And it's just, I just think that it's just like young ladies. I've got one of my brother's daughters that he passed away, his daughter's here. And then my other brother, his wife's daughter is living in Houston. Well, the one that lives there, she comes by the house all the time, and she's Hispanic, I'm myself. Come on in. She said, yeah, Uncle Mitch, what's happening? Let me give you a kiss, baby. Okay. I said, well, now you hugging me with the man you pushing. You hug that boy out there in the car with you. I said, now, grandma is in the house. I said, now, you can come over here and get whatever you want, but don't you let him stay in that house with you. Absolutely. And she said, Uncle Mitch, you don't have to worry about that. I ain't gonna do that. And then the two in Houston, we go out to them, come on, let's go in the room, and we go in there and we talk. And then I said, Uncle Mitch, well, you said that. I said, did you understand what I said? Yeah, I understood it. I said, well, did I understand? Did I say it the way you could understand it? Yeah, Uncle Mitch, you did. I said, who knows about that but us? I said, now what we do in this room is we leave. And they are some beautiful young ladies, you know, but
you're telling them right.
Yeah.
And sometimes I need to hear that from a man.
yeah, they need to hear it.
Well, that's why you need a father and a father.
Yeah,
You know, because sometimes, you know, the mother may be upset with the father, this younger generation, and they miss out on having that father, because that's who we imitate or emulate. We look at our father's love towards our mom, and that's what kind of man we want. You know, we're looking at that.
and that's what men should do with the young ladies. You know, you don't have to question them and say all of these things, but you can address them in some ways. What was I trying to do when I was 21 and 22?
Yeah,
I know what I was trying to do, but I mean,
Exactly.
I can say something and say it in a positive way, and I'm not gonna tell them, you out here being involved, you haven't said, no, I'm not gonna do that, but I'm gonna find a way to address the question to where I want you to understand what it's all about. And it's just like in the Hispanic population, you find more women with babies, 4, 5, 7, 6, and all that, and you say, wait a minute now, why did you do that? You know, and we have one that's working with us right now, and every time she come over here, she brings 4 kids with her. And I asked her, look at, what's wrong with you? Where is the daddy? You gotta bring the children with you every time you come. Where is the daddy?
Yeah.
Is he with you or is he not with you? You know, but I just think that, you know, don't let no man misuse you and abuse you like that. Because the only thing about it is you're the one that's gonna suffer. And he's gonna run his boom boom and try to be the best thing he can. And the other thing is that really gets me,
Well, it's about, education, like you're saying. It's about, basically, education is what, again, what you guys provide.
right,
An education, so again, it all starts at home, but it may not be your immediate family. So what you have brought, you two have brought education and that love to people who aren't your immediate family. So, again, it starts, oh, here, that, that, so, but what has happened here is there's two powerful people here who have peace and talked and brought love to families that may not have love. So again, I thank you. I thank you two for coming to the I Shall Bloom show. How could someone reach you if they want to reach out to you?
My email is Beverly, Beverly, .Watts, WATTS, the @ symbol, Westcare, WESTCARE.com.
Okay. And Ms. Willie, how could someone reach you if they wanted to call the Harvard Yard Center and reach you?
Lori Gibson, executive director of San Antonio Bank. And that's all the thing is, that's all they have to say.
And their phone number is 210-271-7232.
Yeah, that's it.
So,
And let me just say, our phone number is 210-224-2351.
all right. Again, I thank you two for coming. Again, it's been such a blessing to sit under the feet of two powerful people and people who are fulfilling their purpose given from God. So this we know is a part one because you guys I'm gonna have questions, so we're gonna probably have a part two of this. There's more for us in 2025. God is speaking. God is always speaking. It's just that will you listen? So again, my name is Sandra, and I'm the host of the I Shall Bloom show. I need you to subscribe, ring the bell, because you never want to miss a premier episode of the show. I can be reached at Sandra@ishallbloom.com, and also my YouTube channel is Sandra at I Shall Bloom Talk Show.